that takes no time at all.
And it's mostly characters.
Mm-hmm.
Some controls and then different characters, different settings. That's really about it.
Yeah.
So I reviewed Mortal Kombat, but that's the only one. It's just going to be the first one. Because, I don't got anything else to say about it. Or like I reviewed, have you ever heard or played Treasure Mountain?
Wow, that sounds familiar.
It's a children's game by the Learning Company. It's a Super Solvers game. They're pretty popular, and I reviewed it, and someone's like, will you review Treasure Math Storm? I'm like, that's the same game, except with math. No. I would have nothing different to say about it. But yeah, that's a blast from people's past, all the Super Solvers games.
And see, when I got into, when I was in school, we didn't have any, your computer was not your, people didn't have computers. First computer I used in school was actually in high school, and we were doing BASIC.
Nice!
We were learning BASIC. And, oh my gosh, I always keep my notebooks from my school days. Now, I can only find certain high school ones and my college ones, but I always keep my notebooks. And I found, what was it, about a month ago, my notebook from high school where I was doing the BASIC. And I actually, you have to get the squares, all thing, and I drew a skateboarder doing a hand plant. And it was like, oh my god, look at that! Oh! It was all squares. It was like an Atari, you're looking at your Atari graphics practically,
That's awesome, dude.
And then when we went into college, you had the apples, and it was like, oh, Apple IIe. Ooh.
So, I had Tandy growing up, and I loved my Tandy.
Yeah, so we didn't get the computer games like the kids had in school. Oh, I want to play Arthur. What? What's that?
Oh, Arthur.
And they sit down and they pop in and
I love all those kids games.
Maybe you should do a kids.
I took such a liking to my aunt's computer when I was around 5, and like you said, this was a time where people they just didn't own computers. Yeah. You just didn't see a computer in somebody's house. That was very rare because computers were expensive and they were more business driven. Mm-hmm. So like to have a personal computer, you must have been pretty wealthy or pretty well off because not a lot of people had them. But my aunt had one, and I took such a liking to it. She bought me one when I was 7, and that's kind of how I learned how to run DOS games and stuff like that. But I was the only one in my class who had one, and I was so taken by it that I wrote a report on it in 2nd grade, and I got made fun of.
Oh.
Because it was different at that point. Kids didn't care about my computer. They cared about their toys, their Barbie dolls, their GI Joes. It was my first experience of oh, that girl is different. She's kind of weird. Let's avoid her.
Nerd.
Well, look at me now, bitches. I talk about computer games and I get hits for it.
I get hits for it and hit on for it.
Somebody from my past recently who made fun of me. Somebody who made fun of me in my past, a guy, came back, who has found me on the internet, and he wanted to make amends or something and go out. I'm like, you must be joking.
Really?
Yeah. And this guy was cruel to me. And I was just like, no, that's okay. I don't want to dig up anything from my past. I'm glad you like the videos, but stay away from me.
Wow.
You traumatized me as a kid. Go away.
Wow.
Yeah, it happens.
But at least he felt but yeah, then it becomes do you feel remorse because she's hot, or do you feel remorse because you actually feel remorse?
It's hard to tell when somebody wants something or do they actually want to be my friend. It's very, very difficult to differentiate when somebody's throwing that stuff at you. And just from what I mean, I looked at his Facebook, I stalked it. You know, it's one of those things where you look at the pictures, and it's all like him holding a red cup in every single picture, and it's like, no,
He's
fuck
a
that. I
douche.
don't want to be your friend.
He's a douche.
We have nothing in common, sir. You want to be? Oh, Leon Hart wants to be my friend. Well, good luck with that.
Good luck with that.
I'm like so hard to befriend sometimes. But if you see me at a con, like definitely talk to me. I'm more than willing to talk.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, be amiable and stuff.
You know, that was one of the best things about going to Con Bravo, was just talking to the people. And
Yeah.
I barely even moved. Some of the people I was with just kind of were like, I think it was a Saturday, and they just said, Justin, should we just like shoo them away? I'm like, no. I'm here. I'm here as a guest, and they want, you know, this is part of being a guest, you know, and I just want to talk to people. And I got to talk to a lot of people, and at length. This one guy actually came up to me, wanted to shake my hand, then he wanted to show me stuff that he made for Nash. And then we just got to chatting, you know, and it was so much fun. It was just such a great. I love conventions like that. So
I do too. I like talking to people. I think people. It's strange. Like I'll go somewhere, and later I'll get like an email or a tweet, and they'll be like, "Oh, I saw you here, but I was too afraid to approach you." I'm like, "Really?" And there's been a few times where people underestimated what I look like. I'm fairly tall. You know this.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
fairly tall, and I'm fairly abrasive and kind of in your face, and no bullshit type of a girl. And so some people get afraid, but I'm actually probably one of the more socially able people who do this kind of stuff. So definitely people should approach me. Some producers don't like it. Some people would rather be guarded and kind of, you know, do their own thing and kind of not be involved with fan and social interaction. But I really like it. And if I don't like somebody, I'll just kick them in the balls. So
because that's your martial arts training right there. That's the first thing they teach.
That's what I did it for.
All right, today we run karate, but first, kicking the balls. Kicking the balls, are you sure? You know, it's like they say, kick punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find things, teacher. Sure to
That is exactly how it went.
Now kick. Blocked! Thank you, teacher! Yeah, because when you go in, there's a person with a scratcher over in the background, and he's mixing while you actually.
That is how it goes in my mind, dude. That's what's playing in my head as I walk around a convention.
You've got Pa Rappa going in the back.
Yep, just in my mind on replay. Helps me get the convention atmosphere.
Convention. But you got to make sure it's not the waiting in the toilet line, though. Or when you are waiting, maybe it's that.
Or I just have, like, Hall & Oates on repeat or something, like, in my head.
That's right.
Just, like, walk around. But not walk around, kind of, like, bounce around. Because I have, like, a song in my head.
Man-eater going through your head.
But yeah, I hope there's going to be some people at Portland, because I'm willing to talk to people.
Well, yeah.
I like talking to people, and I don't know. I used to work at a tattoo parlor, kind of like I used to work in the industry, and that actually really opened me up to being very social and, you know, not taking people's bullshit, but also learning how to really talk to clients and talk to people and be open and stuff like that. And I think it really helped me. It kind of seeps into, you know, kind of my con-going experiences. I'll fall into that mindset and be like, okay, we're going to talk to the client. Wait, sorry, no, it's not a client. We got to talk to the people.
But, you know, in a way they are a client because they are watching your product. And you want to have them keep a vested, wow, I'm going to use some $5 words, a vested interest in your product. So it kind of is, you know, like, wow. And that's really deep. I never even thought about that. Wow. This,
Someone's like, share the story of the dumbest tattoo request. Well, I wasn't a tattoo artist. I was a body piercer. Um, but somebody did come in wanting. This is so fucking stupid. I don't know if I've told you this story or not, Justin, but somebody came in wanting their name on tramp stamp area. Okay, their name, their own name on the tramp stamp area. This was the first tattoo they'd ever gotten. This lady was screaming so loud when she got her tattoo. We just wanted to we didn't know what to do. This lady was screaming at the top of her lungs while she's getting this tattoo.
because it hurts so much.
Because it hurts so bad, and I mean, I'm just like, lady, please get a grip. So we had to call in help. We're like, can we call your friends? Can we call moral support? Because it's taking a long time. So they call on her friends, and they're trying to hold her down, and she's screaming. Well, she ends up moving, and the needle moves with it. And so now the tattoo's messed up. She was there for 4 hours, Justin.
Oh my God.
That was hour-long tattoo tops. 4 hours because it got messed up, because she wouldn't. I don't even know what this lady was thinking. She was young. She was maybe 21.
Oh, so she wasn't like an older. Oh, jeez.
No, she wasn't even an older gal. She was 21. I'm like, dude, just sit there and fucking take it.
Wow.
Man, it was bad. It was bad.
I've got one of my friends' ex-wife of another friend, but she actually owns a tattoo parlor.
Ah, nice.
And it's called Heebie Jeebies down here in Colorado Springs. If you guys go, even though she's not married to my friend anymore, folks, she is one of the best tattoo artists in Colorado Springs. So if you're looking for a tattoo, go to Heebie Jeebies. Her name's Karen. She's always been nice to me, even when they got a divorce. So she's awesome.
That is a great parlor name, Heebie Jeebies. I love it.
Oh, she is. Yeah, she is very heebie jeebies. I mean, they were very goth. You walked into their house and it was dark, and there was black stuff all over. I mean, it was goth. But she's this bright punk, from the 70s from London. She showed me this Time Life magazine where they were talking about the punk culture in like 1975, 77. And there she is with a mohawk, and just
that's great.
Huge red mohawk, and I was like, no kidding. And she tells stories about, going to bands. And so she's an older lady. Anyways, she's wonderful.
I bet I would get along with her quite well.
You would get, actually. She got along with everybody. She's one of those personalities. So, anyways, long story short, too late. She was telling us a story about this one guy who came into her tattoo parlor. Big guy, just big, muscular. You probably was in like 5 fights last night, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, Ducato, I'll give you guys a hug here later on. Hang on, I'm telling a story. So, big guy, it's just kind of bouncer guy. Wants a panther on his shoulder.
Okay.
She's like, all right. They spend time. She gets exactly what he wants. She says, is this it? Do you want any changes? Blah, blah, blah. She said it's only about that big. It's just going to go on his arm right about here. And she said he's had a huge deltoid, just huge shoulder. So it was just going to be right there, no problem. So she gets the ink, she gets it, and all right, here we go. Ah!
Oh, God.
He just screams. He's like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm giving you a tattoo, mate. And he's like, I didn't think it would hurt that much.
Oh, God.
He thought that it was... He thought it was something that went on the skin and then just kind of went in. He didn't think it was with a needle that went in, several times a second.
Oh, yeah, you're reaching the dermis. That's pretty deep. And you can, it's not, when people ask me if it hurts, I'm going to say, yes, it does hurt. It's needles going into my skin, and there's a sensation of hurting there.
Yeah.
Whether that means I'm gonna cry or whether that means it's bothersome to me, that doesn't matter. There is a sensation of pain when needles go into your skin. However you take that sensation is up to you. But I think it sounds like he misunderstood
Just
that
understand.
there's like rapid needles going into your dermis.
Yep. And
Like, what do you think? It just goes on top of your skin and sinks in or something?
yeah, well, because he said, I didn't think, she commented that he said, I didn't think it would hurt so much. And then he called her a masochist. Because she's got
Oh,
tattoos all over herself. She's got a couple on her face and stuff. And it's like, he's like, oh, only a masochist would do that. And he's just wimping out. Just this huge guy. Probably it was a bouncer for something. But he just didn't think it would hurt that much. So,
I think whenever somebody says that, like, how can you be masochistic? It's mutilation, stuff like that. I kind of say, tattoos. It's a lot like giving childbirth. I mean, you go through pain for what you want. Is having a child masochistic? You go through a lot of pain for something that's lifelong and something that you're going to love, hopefully. I guess that's not a guarantee, is it?
yeah.
But it's the same thing. We put ourselves through pain for something that we want, for something that we think is beautiful.
Yep.
And there's nothing mutilation about it. In fact, I would say people try to argue that with me all the time, that body mod is a form of mutilation, but I would say that nobody puts that much effort into making a beautiful piece of artwork like that if they were going to mutilate themselves.
Yeah.
Mutilation's an ugly, horrible thing that people do to themselves to find a release. And they don't care how it looks. You know what I mean?
I would even say that some of the branding that people do can be considered mutilation.
It can be.
Yeah. Because it's not, focused, and it's fucking branding. It's like some college frats do it. I know. I could never do that. But no, I think that some of the beautiful, even some of the Japanese, full body or full back pieces are just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, they can be.
Had a friend in college.
The chat says they don't get the fuss with tattoos. It's not a fuss. It's never been a fuss.
No.
If you go back and really educate yourself on where, and I've had to do this. In fact, I've given speeches at DePaul about body mod and culture and where it all came from. Oh yeah, I'm very knowledgeable. I'm not just like a show, with my tattoos. I know what I'm talking about. You have to really look back and think, where did this come from? How has it evolved over time? Tattoos have been in our culture since forever. Since forever, we have been, experimenting with body mod and art, and symbolism changes over time. It used to be more about looking aggressive to your enemies, or it used to be more about marital rights and symbols and stuff like that. Today, we have the technology to make it art. And as far as skin sagging goes, fuck, my skin is gonna sag anyway. I don't care, we're gonna get old. We're not gonna look this way forever. We're gonna get ugly. We're gonna get gray. Do what you need to do to make you feel good, because life sucks. So do what you need to do to get through the next day. And if that means getting a tattoo, then fucking do it. It's your life.
You tell him.
Damn straight. That has been your inspirational talk for the day.
Well, that's absolutely correct. And the good news is the tattoo is successful and you now have a star on you. The bad news is that star is Justin Bieber. Yeah, who might get banned from coming to the U.S.
Hey, if you get a bad tattoo, that's just your college experience there.
Yeah.
That's just you'll learn. I got bad tattoos. I learned.
I have a friend who has a tattoo on her wrist, and I asked what it was about, and she's like, well, when I got out of high school, we had 4 friends, and we all got the same tattoo. I said, do you keep in touch with them? And they're like, no, actually, I got into an argument with two of the people, and I barely talked to this other person. And I said, so do you ever regret it? And she's like, not a day, not a
Yep.
day, because it's a memory. It's a memory of something that's on your skin of something that happened.
Yep. They become timepieces, over time. I have kind of an ugly tattoo on my calf, and I have no plans to cover it because I remember when I got it. It's a timepiece, and I don't know. I'm attached to it. I don't care if it's a bad tattoo. And a lot of really notable tattoo artists, Hannah Atchison and Corey Miller, even somebody like Kat Von D, they all have really shitty tattoos somewhere on their body. But you'll notice that they'll say, "But we're not going to cover them because these are timepieces, these are experiences, and if I made a mistake, I made one. Whatever, get over it."
Yeah. Oh, Miss Na Young, that's a cute one. The little frog sitting on the snakies. Now,
Not snakes.
being from Japan and going to Japan for a lot of your work, Miss Na Young, do you actually? Because I know that tattoo culture is actually, they don't let you into certain places if they know you have a tattoo. Is that a problem? Because I do know that when I went to Japan, and even when we went to some of the ryokans, they even say, if you have tattoos, please don't use the outdoor, bathhouses.
What?
Because Yakuza have tattoos.
Oh, okay. So there's a gang relation.
There's a gang relation, and
Okay.
even when I was learning Japanese in college, my mentor even said that when he went to Japan to visit his wife, they went to a bathhouse, and she went to her side, and he went to his side, and they went in to their respective ones, and he was wondering why this one guy was sitting with like 3 spaces on either side just empty, and everybody else was really crammed together. And then he saw the tattoos, and then he saw the guy lifting up a sake cup to the dressed man next to him, pouring sake, and it was like, oh, he's kind of missing a digit there. I'll bet you that's why.
Oh, dang.
And he's like, that was my first encounter with the Yakuza, was in and she says, thanks, Justin, I don't have many problems since keep mine covered most of the time.
Gotcha.
And I do, this is a little racy of me to say, but I did find out recently that it's not appropriate for women to be fully shaved now, and some women will be refused to go into places if they're fully shaved in Japan.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting too. What kind of affiliation does that have?
With being a slut.
Oh, okay.
That's what I read on the thing. That if
I can understand the gang tattoo affiliation.
Yeah,
Not
but
sure if
what's
I can
the other
understand the
thing?
slut shaving.
Yeah,
affiliation,
that was
though.
it's cultures can be different. It is a different thing. Demented, shaved what on the legs? Oh, Centauri. Oh, you sweet thing. You're such a sweetie. What, like on the legs?
The legs?
Underarms? You sweetie Centauri. I'm joking, Centauri. I love you. So yeah, it was a very different. So different cultures have these different, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So while many people in Japan have in the past, and I don't know if they still do it, because once again, I don't know about the tattoo culture. Maybe you know a little bit more about this. Some people have actually given their skin when they die,
Oh, wow.
so that they can still have the pretty artwork still displayed.
Oh, wow.
You didn't know about that?
I've never heard of such an extremity. No.
Yes. In Japan, I know of at least 2 or 3 people who have said they wanted their please when I die keep the tattoo. I don't know if they still, but that's something I heard. That might actually be a myth. I don't know. I would be very interested to have you research that. Actually,
I might do that. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably go more the Egyptian being buried in a tomb route. I'd like to take my treasures with me. I'd like to take my tattoos with me. Not sure if I would like to have them on display. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure how they would preserve the skin because it would probably shrivel. Just knowing how the skin could react. That's a little strange.
Miss Nayung says there is a museum that has those skins on display.
That is... That's really interesting, and I definitely would like to research that a little bit more.
Yeah, that would be very okay. So I wasn't just reading something that was
you were
untrue.
Just pulling it out of your ass.
Pulling it out of my. Well, I knew I'd read the thing, and it was like, and when I started to correct myself, that was me realizing, Justin, it's the fucking internet. So, oh yeah, that's right. So. But they do have skins on display. Okay, so I wasn't crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
I'm
not. A little bit crazy.
Just a little bit crazy. Yeah, for me.
Tiny bit.
For me, I think if I got a tattoo, I think I would get one of the Famicom and Rider's helmet after I'm finished with the show. When I'm done with the whole thing, I'd want to get one on my ankle.
Oh, nice. That's a painful place. Go for it, dude. I support you.
Or would you suggest that I maybe get it? Because the thing is, I don't want it on my back because I want to look at it.
I know.
I don't understand that.
I have that qualm myself. I have a tattoo on the back of my shoulder. I'm like, I never see it.
Yeah, so we would be out of sight, out of mind, where it would be interesting to... Where would you suggest? Where's a less painful place that you'd be able to see it, but still be able to cover it up if you needed to?
I'm so mostly kidding, because pain tolerance is really, it really varies between people. I mean, I have tattoos on my chest, and those didn't hurt as much as my forearm, and that's considered a little bit backwards.
Really?
But you can't really go wrong with kind of your shoulder, on the side of the arm there, by your shoulder. A lot of people opt for that. A lot of people can seem to take the pain there a little bit more.
Shoulder's usually good anywhere where it's more fatty.
Yeah.
Which would make sense with the ankle being so tender, unless it's
bony. You might start to feel.
Unless
you might start to feel the needles kind of rattling your bones a little bit, and that's kind of a strange sensation.
Well, I was just thinking, like, on the inside of your, not near the ankle. Maybe I should say, just where that calf muscle kind of curves in, to the back there. And just like so on the side and down, just a little bit on that. But that's still really close to bone. It's not as far close to... I wish I could show you, but unfortunately I don't have any pants on, so...
That's okay.
No, I got shorts on. I got shorts on, but... Well, I got shorts on here. I was thinking like right here.
See, it's kind of lagging. So
it's lagging, so you'll but
yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, so right where the muscle, calf muscle, so right about here where there's, because the bone doesn't, you don't actually start to get there until like here. Well, I guess you'd still might hit. It'll
sting. It'll sting, but I don't think you're gonna fall over crying or any. I hope not. I hope you don't. You know what? Film it. That'll solve all these problems. My only real suggestion is just don't get it. Don't get a small tattoo, because you don't ever want it to turn into a blob over time. You don't want people to be like, "What is that blob on his skin there?" You want people to know what you have, and hopefully they'll be able to see it from some distance. A little bit of distance.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you never. I mean, I have a lot of people like, "Oh, I just want a small tattoo." No, absolutely not. If you want a blob on your skin, go for it. But I think if you're going to get a tattoo, get it a little bit bigger.
So maybe what, like, would be a good size, maybe like yay big, like 3 inches by 2, or like 4 inches
say,
by...
I'm trying to... Yeah, I would say at least 4 by 4, 3 by 3.
Okay.
Just definitely don't do like a 1 by 1. That's such a bad idea.
Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't be a small thing.